Hey, what's up, guys? It is Ben 10,000 of Wachio, your friendly neighborhood Yu-Gi-Oh! Wait a damn minute. Your friendly neighborhood Yu-Gi-Oh! Superhero. I forgot what's on the other wrist. Anyway, guys, this is my buddy Benji, and his name is actually Benjamin. Unlike me, I'm a filthy poser. This isn't coffee. This is my poser tears. Benji here has a YouTube channel, and his channel's name is Thinkin N Geekin. It will be linked in the description below, and if he comments, I'll pin him to the top, so that way he can, that way y'all can find him easier. Make sure you ask all the inappropriate questions. No, I'm just kidding. So I actually did reach out to get audience questions. I don't think I got any, though, to be brutally honest. But, it is what it is. Yeah, I didn't get any. That's all right. You're kind of like, let's face it, you're kind of new to the Yu-Gi-Oh! YouTube scene a little bit.
Yeah.
So, I guess then we can introduce people to you with this really simple introduction point is what kind of content do you plan on creating, and what is it you bring to the Yu-Gi-Oh! Table?
So, I've had my channel for a couple of years now, and I let it go dormant, and recently I decided I wanted to pick back up and start making content again. My main two things that I do are deck profiles and openings. So I'll have my friends together after our local tournament and get deck profiles from them, but I'll also go to some bigger tournaments and people who didn't place as high but did accomplish something like making it to day 2 but didn't make it to the top cut. I'll get their profile. So I have one from YCS Dallas back in 2017 up on there, as well as the guy who won the 1K for the ARG Fort Worth in 2018. I have his as well. Okay. But mainly it's just between friends and stuff.
Okay.
And then openings, I like to do like weird products. So I've gotten a couple of mangas that I've opened to get the promos, as well as I've done OCG product before too. And a couple of those like Walmart and Target exclusive mystery boxes. When I find Pokemon ones, I'll pick those up. They're always a disappointment.
They always are. I don't even know why. I fall into the trap too, though, I'll be honest. I'm just like, but it could.
I picked up one specifically because, like, there was a card in there that I already had, but they had an alternate art version of it. And so they gave you the little deck from the battle deck boxes, and I forgot that inside the deck you only get one copy because the other copy was a promo outside of the deck in the display window. So I only ended up with one copy of the card.
Oh no! Oh man! So. Out of all that stuff, like, so your uniqueness is that you open up product that isn't widely open. Like, I've seen people open up the cube before, but it's not a very often thing, and it's usually like a gimmick of, let's see how bad I can go minus this time.
Right.
And then I've seen Cyber Knight do, like, OCG stuff, but the thing that I think is unique for here is that you open up, like, the mangas and stuff to get the promo cards. So is that just going to be something that maybe you'll do when they have other products because obviously we don't have Shonen Jump anymore, but.
Right. So, mine was, I never actually got the Shonen Jumps, and I kind of regret doing that because there are a couple of promos that I really wish that I would have gotten. But I'll go down to like the local Barnes and Noble and pick up. Sometimes they'll have copies of like Yu-Gi-Oh! R, or the old Yu-Gi-Oh! GX manga still sealed, and I'll pick those up. The one that I have on my channel is the Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc 5 manga. And I picked up that and did a quote unboxing, where it's just, you undo the shrink wrap on there and show off the card, because the cards were actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like that was our first printing of Clearwing Fast Dragon was in one of those. The Pendulum Synchro.
Yeah, I had to think about it. I was like, which one is that one? Sorry, you have to excuse me, guys. It's morning time for me. It's nighttime for Benji here. I'm, because I'm a vampire. Minus all the, like I said to you off screen, all the cool shit vampires get to do.
Right.
Could you imagine if I was actually a vampire playing Yu-Gi-Oh? That'd be hilarious. I'd be sitting there, I summon the vampire lord, yes. Blah, blah, blah. I'm just kidding.
Oh, man. I hate that deck so much. I hate playing against that deck.
And although I think it's going to be funny is because I guarantee you our buddy Edgar is going to get that movie reference I just made. Just blah, I don't say blah, blah, blah. So anyway. Sorry.
I didn't want to say that I understood the movie reference, but I do.
Oh, it's okay. This is a safe space for nerdiness. All right? It doesn't matter what it is. It's, come on, we've all seen these movies. Come on. We've all got sisters and kids now. Some of us.
Very true.
Oh, hell no. I'm just like, and I've got it worse. I've got sisters with kids. So see, it's all horrible. But 30 years old and still baby free. I'm just kidding. That's a horrible joke. Somebody else is 30 years old watching this like, fuck you, Ben. Fuck you. All right, so you and I actually had discussed. I'm gonna go ahead and bring it up for the channel's sake because you don't have it right now. But maybe if they like listening to you enough on your channel, maybe they can encourage you. Is you thought about doing a podcast?
Yes.
Last time we talked. So, what was for a refresher? What was that idea that you never quite came to fruition with? What was your podcast idea?
So we actually, my friends and I, we made a whole complete first season, complete with an actual live season finale that we live streamed on Twitch while we recorded and took audience questions and everything, and we even set up a Google phone number to have people call in and everything. All of that has since been deleted, so that way I can in the future revamp it. But it is trying to think of a way to describe it. It is a political oriented podcast. I would compare it to a mix between there's a YouTube channel called Internet Today. I would compare it to a mix between their content that they do and Last Week Tonight with John Oliver. So it's taking a look at it's taking a look each week at a certain topic, and doing a deep dive into it. Okay. And we're coming at it with myself, my friend Wes, and my friend Dalton. Where I don't know if you can tell by my shirt. I don't know if you can tell by my shirt which way I lean, but
yeah.
So we're coming at it.
They know that I lean liberal with my. I've been open about it. I've had Hard Leg Joe on here, and him and I are far lefties. So, and let's face it, MBT has been on here. I mean, I don't think that I don't think anybody has any delusion that yes, I lean left politically. So you're free to let that flag out and be proud.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm super jealous that you met MTB because he is my favorite YouTuber of all time.
Oh man, I love Joseph. I'm actually friends with him on Facebook. Fun fact.
I've met him once, but we didn't get to really talk all that much because it was during the Pro Play tour that he and Simo commentated, and so I was out on the floor during most of that doing judging for the Yu-Gi-Oh event, so I didn't really get that much of a chance to talk to him, which kind of sucked.
Yeah.
But so going back to about the podcast, we would look at the topics through my point of view on the left, through Dalton's point of view on the right, and then through Wes's point of view right in the middle.
Okay.
Yeah.
So kind of get a all sides perspective type of thing.
Right.
Except you didn't have me, who's further left than you. Oh, no, I'm just kidding.
That is very true. That is very true.
I don't know. I'm sure if we were to talk about it, I'm pretty sure that our politics probably align fairly well. It's just, we might just have a different. The only difference between us might be like, a difference of a tactic to get there.
Right. Right.
So that was just a little humor there. Gotta poke the bear, if you will.
Right. Right.
Anyway, continue. Sorry.
So yeah, like we looked at a bunch of different topics. Our very first episode was three Americans decided they wanted to discuss Brexit.
I'm just sitting there like, no. Oh, I don't even want to get into it with other countries' crap. All right, we got so much BS here, and you guys were like, you know what? Let's go over there across the pond with their poser Trump leader, and let's go talk about their right wing's BS. I'm like, no, we didn't have enough here. It's like, sorry, I just had to, like I said, I had to make a joke. Continue.
After that, we decided we wanted to talk about Turkey, and it was right after the U.S. pulled troops out of Syria, and so Turkey was bombing the Kurds.
Oh,
and so that's
Turkey.
what
I was over here like, when did we go to Thanksgiving as a topic?
Well, I mean, we did it right around the corner from Thanksgiving, so.
Oh my god. Oh goodness. That shit's funny. Anyway, not what's happening in Turkey with the Kurds. That's not funny at all, but just the placement of the conversation was funny.
Right.
I just want to stress that out before somebody gets mad at me. That shit ain't funny at all. Continue. You were talking about your podcast, and Turkey was brought up as a conversation.
But yeah, like we looked at both international politics as well as politics here back home. Like it was also right around the time of the impeachment hearings, so we talked about that. We did a whole like 2-hour episode about that, where we discussed like historical impeachments and the current one and all of that, which was super, super fun to do.
I imagine, especially when you're having the conversation with a right-wing leaning person in that. I'm sure it was like, ooh, here we go.
Oh yes. I have the recordings still on my phone. Mm-hmm. I've deleted them off of the actual channel, but I have the recordings still on my phone. So when I go back and like revamp the series sometime early next year, I'm gonna do like a highlight reel from all the episodes from that original run. I couldn't think of the word.
It's all good. It happens, man. I get brain farts all the time. So, I mean, if you look at my latest video, I was talking about like 10 things for like. I couldn't decide if I really wanted a 10 things for like, for decks that like, oh, this could be good in the future, or decks that were like, things that were important for unique deck building. So I just went, same thing.
Put them together.
Yeah, it was a chaotic peanut butter and jelly sandwich of a video.
I saw that on my sub box, and I meant to watch it this morning, but I have not gotten a chance to. It's been one busy day, and tomorrow is not going to be any easier.
Speaking of tomorrow, because it is what is it, the 2nd today, right?
Today is the 2nd.
Yeah, so it'll be the 3rd as of you guys seeing this. So make sure you guys go vote. I'm going to make sure this video goes out in the early morning hours so we can get as many people to see it as possible.
Absolutely.
All right, let's go. Everyone go vote. I'm not going to tell you who to vote for because, I've got Everyone knows my opinion. You guys already know who I think you should vote for, but I'm not gonna bother. So I'm not gonna bother telling you. Joe Biden, 2020. I was like, I don't know where that came from. Anyway,
again, don't know if you can tell by the shirt.
yes, Benji is totally a third-party voter. Don't let the she-shirt fool you. He's
100%.
He's writing in Mickey Mouse, or to quote a TikToker I really like, Pikachu 2020.
Oh my god, we saw a yard sign today. Me and one of my friends. We saw it said Brisket 2020.
Brisket 2020.
And I thought to myself, I can get behind that. I really do.
I'm like, who doesn't like brisket? I mean, besides vegans and vegetarians, but even they like brisket. That's why they make fake brisket. Oh, that's right.
Yes.
I just called all the vegans and vegetarians out. I called you out. Sure, their brisket's made of, broccoli, but it's still brisket. I don't care.
That is very true. It retains a similar flavor.
Oh man, there's somebody in the comment sections right now just telling you about brisket, you murderer. Anyway, that's enough of my antics. So since we're on the topic of politics, are you willing to go into it a little more detail? Since
Sure.
Okay, I just want to make sure you're comfortable with it.
Yeah.
Plus, anyone who's mean to you in the comments, I can just, oh, sorry, did that comment get muted? My bad. I've actually, that's something I've also been very open about, is I will call my comment section. If somebody it's one thing to be hateful towards me. Don't be hateful to my guest. And I was prepared for it with one of my more previous guests. I had Annie Evie on, a transgender Yugi tuber. And
sounds familiar, but I can't.
I think she's the one before you on this one. I'm behind the screen.
Okay.
Blonde, very pretty. So there you go, Annie. You got a compliment out of me. Anyway, the point that I was getting at, I was prepared for some hateful comments. I was like, I'm gonna smite. I was ready to be like Zeus with a bolt of lightning. Like, go ahead, just say some hateful shit. And then nobody commented anything, and I was like, well, I got all prepared for nothing.
I will say that is one thing that because I partake in both the Yu-Gi-Oh community and the Pokemon community, and I do unfortunately see a lot more hateful comments on places like Zodiac Duelist on Facebook, as opposed to somewhere like Burbank City, which is the Pokemon equivalent to that. Okay. So, I mean, and I absolutely love Yu-Gi-Oh! And don't get me wrong, like going out to events and stuff is one of my most favorite things to do, but kind of sucks at the same time seeing stuff like that.
Yeah.
But
I mean, it's good that you brought that up because, and I know that we kind of discussed it beforehand, but I didn't really go into detail about it because I definitely think that Yu-Gi-Oh, the Yu-Gi-Oh community and politics have definitely become more intertwined as of late.
Yeah.
It seems like, go ahead and you're the star of the show today. You go ahead and you get what I'm.
Well. I mean, so I completely agree. I completely agree with you on that. I left Zodiac because I just could not sit there and look at the stuff that's posted on there anymore. It's just, and it's what. And it's not the entire Yu-Gi-Oh community, which is good.
No, it's just they're the most the hateful side of them is just the ones that are the most vocal.
Yeah, and they get the most reactions and the most responses on Facebook, and so those are the ones that the Facebook algorithm pushes to the top.
Excuse me. Oh god, it's a fucking nightmare. Like,
yes,
I have seen.
It is.
Oh man, I have seen so many things that were like just. What the, Like I've seen people say like just all sorts of crazy shit in there. Like I've seen all the Trump 2020 nonsense. I've seen people say things like, "Oh, Hitler was right," or and then but the biggest thing I do see, which is what I think is very strange though, that people who are like Hitler was right are in playing Yu-Gi-Oh. Like you realize that the game's from Japan, right?
Yeah.
Just because he helped them in World War II doesn't mean he liked them. Let's just be honest. He did that. Just all that. The only thing that little alliance was doing was putting Japan at the back of the list to be axed later.
Yep.
Anyway,
seems like people don't know their history.
No, and even I don't really know the history, but I'm just still, you know what I mean. Like I got the bare bones, and even I get it.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. But anyway, but the biggest thing that I see in Zodiac is a lot of gatekeeping and a lot of like subtle hatred. Like for example, I've seen people say things like Team APS is like a subpar Yugi tuber or whatever, and I'm like, Meg Kappa G sucks, and they'll say Cali Effect sucks, and I'm sitting there like, why do these guys suck? And then of course that person never gives a straight answer, so that tells me that it's not their content they don't like.
Yep, you gotta, that kind of stuff. It makes me so mad, so mad.
Or they'll say things like Jada Yu-Gi-Oh, another transgender Yu-Gi tuber. They'll still use the wrong pronouns. They'll say he instead of she.
Oh,
like that's that subtle hate. That little like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it like that.
I absolutely hate that so much.
I almost hate I almost find the subtle hate more annoying than the straight like how the Nazi dude is like, screw everybody but white people,
Yeah.
That guy's at least an open asshole. It's the one that's like, what? I just don't like him because no reason.
Yeah, they don't want to own up to. They don't want to own up to their own hatred.
Oh no, it's freaking irritating is what it is. Makes me wish I could actually turn him into a Karibo. Be like, okay, just bink. Ha! Now you're just an annoying fuzzball.
No, you got to turn him into what's the vanilla Karibo?
The vanilla Karibo. Oh, I don't remember.
There is. It was
something ghost, right?
Yeah, it was
some red-eyed ghost goblin thing. I don't remember. But yes, I know what the monster you're talking about. It looks like Karibo with red eyes, and it's got black fur. Oh man, they'd be so angry. But they'd be about yay tall, and they'd be the size of a Furby, and about just as creepy. Anyway,
perfect size to drop kick them.
Just football, foot, bing.
Kick him far enough, you'll never see him again.
The only thing it would be is if I did it to Donald Trump, his would be orange for no reason. Like, how the fuck? We would have had a setting for that, and probably still have that ridiculous hair thing happening on top.
Oh god!
I can hear him now. I don't know. I tried to do a squeaky voice, but it's not gonna work. I'd be like, I don't know what happened. But yeah, a second ago, I was my gorgeous, sexy self. Because he's that confident, or delusional, I should say. That was my sexy stuff, and now I'm an orange fuzzball. I don't know what happened. I say we build a wall, and protect me.
He would still, just like he is now, be like completely drenched in something 24/7. I don't know if you've noticed that, but if you look at any picture of him or any video, he is completely drenched in something, which has led me to the revelation that Donald Trump is a WAP, a wet-ass president.
Just wow.
I said that in my group chat the other day, and before I could finish typing it, one of the guys responded, "Stop."
Oh god, he's a whack-ass president, if you ask me. But
very true, very true. And hopefully tomorrow, he's gone.
Yeah, the only thing I worry about is that red mirage. That's the only thing I'm worried about. That's it.
Oh,
Because like because here's the thing, the reason why I'm worried about a red mirage is because for the viewers at home who may not know what that is, it's the idea that on election day it looks like Trump's going to win, and then later when they count all the ballots from the mail-in and the drop-off ballots,
yep.
who are for so people don't have to actually go into the building to do it, then Biden goes whoop, I win, and because then obviously the courts are kind of stacked against democracy right now. So,
Yep.
so the idea here is we need Biden to win, and we need him to win by a landslide. So, just another reminder, guys, go vote!
Please go vote. Please go vote.
I'm not saying please. I'm going to say do it, or I'll turn you into a Karibo! It's an empty threat, but I don't care.
We
I'm going to be zap, motherfucker.
it's actually really funny that, like, I mean, it's not funny, but it's
funny peculiar, not funny.
It's funny peculiar, yeah. That we had this exact thing happen 2 years ago. So in 2018, in Arizona on election night and a week after election night, Martha McSally was leading in her Senate race. And then all of a sudden, after all of the mail-in ballots and the provisional ballots and all of that had been counted, it flipped, and Kristen Sinema ended up winning that seat. So it's not a new thing.
Yeah.
And what people don't understand is the election is not called on election night. The election has never been called on election night. It's only projected. Yeah. It's only ever been projected on election night. And it's usually not called until about 10 days after the election. Yeah. That's when every single ballot has been canvassed, and each county, their county elections office certifies the result and sends it to the state secretary, who then certifies the result for the state.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, I went ahead and did it early just because I didn't want to deal with the lines, especially because we're in the middle of a pandemic. Need that I know. I shouldn't need to remind Yu-Gi-Oh players of that, but
Absolutely.
I wanted a BLM mask, but all I could get was a plain old black one.
So, back there on my door, normally the entire thing is just filled with different masks. Okay. But currently I have them all being washed right now. I've got a couple of different sports teams. I've got this one right here. I've got one of my favorite local card shops, Evolution Games. I've got one from them, as well as my organization that I currently sit as the president of. I've got one specially designed with our logo on the mask.
That's what's up. Speaking of logos and masks, I want to just a little shameless plug here. Merch link in the description. If you want a mask that has my Ben 10 logo on it, get yourself a mask. Let everybody know you're one of my tricksters. It'd be greatly appreciative. I know, shameless plug.
you have masks now? I've gotta pick one of those up.
Teespring.
I've gotta support the channel.
I would appreciate it. It's Teespring. I literally have a black mask with my logo on it.
Awesome. I'll pick one up here in the next couple days.
Yes.
I think that brings my total amount of masks up to 11.
11. I have 2, and they're the same ones. The black, like the one I'm holding. The other one's over by the door, but still. Point being, I have 2 that I interchange with, and they are machine washable. That was just a genius idea. Whoever thought of hey, let's make these machine washable. That was a kudos to you, sir and or madam, or person. It's right. Aggressive here.
There was one I saw the other day advertised to me on Facebook. So you would put the mask on, and then right here there would be a little flap that you would undo. And there's a tiny little hole in there for you to put a straw into the corner of your mouth.
Interesting. That's like, okay, I'm just gonna zip.
It's like, this is great idea. Great idea right here.
Personally, I'm hoping that even when the pandemic is over, that masks are still a thing. Because I was sitting there thinking about it, how many other things do we have that are freaking annoying, like the flu, the cold, just two other diseases that I'm like, that we could just like, okay, well, I just wear this, and then nobody else ever has to catch it again.
Absolutely, absolutely.
I'm just saying, like, wearing this in the future might be a good idea. Just
I remember near the beginning of the pandemic when everybody was uh, everybody was just beginning to get on the mask wagon.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody brought up the fact that you look at pictures of big crowds in places like Japan, China, South Korea, anywhere like that, and you can spot people wearing masks like day to day, and that's because over there, it's like if you start to feel like you're coming down with something, no matter what it is, like even if it's just a regular cold, you wear the mask not to protect yourself, but to protect everyone around you, because you have empathy for people around you. You want to protect the people around you, but like unfortunately, that sentiment has been lost on some people over here.
Yeah. Then we got to point out, oh yeah, hey, science backs that idea, which it does, because instead of coughing on everyone else, you're coughing into the mask. And actually, just to further add to that, according to the science, if I'm wearing a mask and then Benji's wearing a mask, and let's say I'm the dude with coronavirus, I go, then one, yes, some of the particles will get through, but nowhere near as much. And if Benji's wearing his mask, the percentage of actually catching it is like less than 1%. So wear your goddamn mask. And to quote, go ahead.
Right now, currently in this little situation that you and I are in at this current moment, the transmission rate is 0% because we've got a computer between us.
Facts.
Just
facts.
Wanted to bring that up.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to send it through the computer. But you get the point that
they haven't figured that out yet. They haven't figured out how to.
Don't talk to Mother Nature. She's pissed off at humans right now. She'll figure it out. She'll be like, you know what? I'm gonna make it where if you cough on the computer, the other guy gets it. And I'll be like, bitch.
You're gonna be talking on the phone and it goes through.
I'm like, how the fuck? It's like 2021. The coronavirus has evolved to travel through machines. What? That's it. Taking me out, coach. Because it's a fucking, this whole coronavirus thing is a nightmare. Not even just for all that stuff, but also for us, like us card players, because the lack of events is just saddening.
Oh, absolutely. I've already made plans with some people that after if this ever ends.
Oh, it will. I mean, by 2023 at the very least. Most of the time they'll have. Because that's the thing is, vaccines usually take about 1 to 2 years to be made anyway. Yep. So we'll probably see one at the latest 2023. And in the meantime, wear masks. And come on, man! Like, how funny is that? This little piece of cloth, everybody wearing this, and it lowers your chance of getting it, like, to less than 1%. Like, it's not a hard concept to get.
Not only does it lower your chance of getting it, if your breath is bad, the people around you don't have to smell your breath. And if you're super ugly like I am, covers your face. No one has to see your face.
Fucking same. Oh god, I'm like, man, I start wearing it in the videos. See, now I'm a ninja. How cool is that?
I also like putting it on with my oversized aviator sunglasses and a baseball cap, and no one can recognize me. So
I'm in disguise. This is what we call incognito mode.
Exactly. I mean, the little icon looks like that, so.
I just need one of those, what is it? I used to have it, like a fedora. Get my trench coat on and just,
You got to be stealth.
I gotta be stealthy, like a mouse. If anyone of y'all have TikTok, you'll get that reference. That's actually I do that on TikTok all the time. I do what I do is like I have like my little my vampire gimmick over there. So I will shit, almost swallowed it. That wouldn't have been good.
Oh no.
So this is what I do on TikTok. I mouth stuff while presenting as a vampire. Why are you laughing, Ben? This is my face!
Woo!
Like I'm hashtag offended. So yeah, that's what I do on TikTok. I literally will like find some silly audio and then I'll put in the vampire fangs. Like I did one where it was like Po from Kung Fu Panda, and yeah, I did the one where I act like I catch a fist. I'm like, oh, and I'm all like, I'm not a big fat panda. I'm the big fat panda. I have my fangs out, and then people are like, oh my god. Yeah. That's why I have like 200 followers over there, and they're like, and it's weird because it didn't take long to get 200 followers over there. Like here on YouTube, it took me almost like a year and a half to get 200 followers. And then
teach me your ways. I have 47 subscribers.
I don't know. All I do is be me and be goofy. That's it. And people are like, I'll follow him. He's a clown. But at least I'm honest about it. Maybe that's why they follow me. I'm a clown on purpose. So because I don't know. I've gotten to a point in my life where I just kind of realized that I don't have the time to be super serious about everything.
Right.
Like, look, people are looking for content where they can learn something, and they're looking for content where they're, can be entertained. And I've got a handful of things that are useful for learning, but the rest of it is all I'm just a funny guy. So I do the wacky, silly stuff, and I'm cool with that. I'm the Bruce Almighty of Yugi tubing. It's BEA. Anyway,
you know what I just realized? What I was just thinking about? This is my 4th time that I've featured on your channel.
Yeah. You've been on here a few times.
I just realized that.
Yeah. Although this is the first time they've ever gotten a deep dive with you.
True.
Because all the other ones, I know you've been on here a few times with the deck profile, and I think one I did.
You did that judge corner with me and Derek.
Yeah. Which we
and then you did one where you just saw me and Derek's hands playing Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yes. Pretty sure you won that game.
I realize in that 3rd game, I'm going to fess up here. Mm-hmm. I messed up. I misplayed.
Oh, yeah?
You caught me on one of the 2 misplays. You caught me on the I couldn't put the dragon into attack position because it had to be summoned out in defense because he had his Buster Fusion. Mm-hmm. But also, I used Bane's effect to blow everything up, and that would have locked me out of being able to attack with the dragon, and I still attacked with him, so I should not have won that game.
Filthy cheats!
I was actually, 3 days ago, I was watching that replay again, and I realized it, and I was like, oh, shit. Why did I do that?
That's been the funnest part about watching those is it's because you're not alone, by the way. Every one of the games that I have been sent, all of you make weird misplays like that. All of you. There's not a one of you who played that game perfectly. I'm like, Jesus, my whole friend group is scrubs. We're all horrible at this game. That's why I play on Edo Pro, because then I can't mess up on Edo Pro.
Oh, we all suck at Yu-Gi-Oh! That's why we go to Geek Out. That's why we don't go to Epic.
Oh, I don't want to touch that place with a 10-foot pole. No way.
Same.
No way. You kidding me? If I was looking for an ass kicking, I'd just go to the bar and punch somebody. It'd be a lot faster. and a lot less painful. That's right, I said it. Just walk up and wham! Fuck. Because I'm a geek. Let's not forget that. I only posed as a superhero. I'm gonna be like, oh, I think it's broken.
You've got the rings on, so maybe that'll do a little bit of damage.
I mean, I could punch somebody and it hurt. I could, but I'm being realistic here. Like the joke is in my mind is like, okay, let's see here, 8 foot tall, 300 pounds of pure muscle. That's the guy I'm gonna punch. Good. Oh, what did you hit? I think that was his butt cheek. Yeah, it's like iron. And then he's over there, in the bar scratching. Must be a mosquito buzzing around. And me just like,
It's like the old cartoons, your hand just deflates.
Oh, damn it. Oh, slapping this is going to get weird.
Just, like, you go, boom! Just hit it on something next to you. Now you won't have control of the Omnitrix anymore, so it'll just turn you into whatever alien that it wants to turn you into.
We're like, yeah. And then now I'm a Karibo.
This is a stupid transformation. Why do you have this as an option?
Somebody right now is scarred for life. They're just like, what the fuck did I just hear? Jesus. Oh my goodness. But yeah, I guess we'll dial it back to. We kind of went on a tangent there. My bad, guys. But we were talking about politics in Yu-Gi-Oh and how it's become more,
way more intertwined.
Yeah, and that's the thing. That's why I created Legion Duelist. I did change the name. It was the Legion of Yu-Gi-Oh Superheroes, but then I thought that was
that was a mouthful.
Yeah, that's why I changed it. It was like it's. I liked the concept. I like, oh yeah, I'm a Yu-Gi-Oh superhero, so that means you're part of my legion of superheroes. Like a Justice League, if you will. But it was too wordy, so I figured, well, I changed it to Legion Duelist, and I wanted to have, and also it kind of has like Legion Duelist, Zodiac Duelist. How you say, hey Zodiac,
right.
Hey Legion. It kind of works. I was like, hey.
So you compared it to the Justice League?
Yes.
Why didn't you just compare it to, the team that's called the Legion of Superheroes?
Oh, yeah, well, that's where the name did come from, but, the Justice League is a more notorious superhero team, so...
It's the one that regular people would know.
Exactly. Like, people are familiar with the Avengers, the Justice League. If I talk about the Legion of superheroes, they're like, what the fuck is that? It's like it'd be like if I brought up A-Force or any other offbeat team of superheroes, they'd be like, who the fuck are those guys? It's like if it's not the Justice League, the Avengers, or the X-Men, they're not gonna have a clue what I'm talking about. So
yeah, very true, very true.
Because not everyone's a superhero fan, so
yeah. That is sad. That is sad.
No, and comic books are fucking gnarly.
I know.
Like they oh man. Comic books have come such a long way since like the 50s. My goodness, the storytelling is mucho excelente. Yes! Green Lantern, that's some woof. That dude's got some kooky stories.
Yes, he does.
Oh man, I thought Superman's whole line was crazy. Hell fucking no. Go follow Hal Jordan, who figures out I can outwill will itself. What? Where's the logic in that?
Do just remember though, if you're fighting Hal Jordan, who is the second Green Lantern, and Alan Scott, who was the first Green Lantern, Alan Scott's weakness is wood. Hal Jordan's weakness is the color yellow. You can defeat both of them with a number 2 pencil.
That's horrible. Oh man. Speaking of Hal Jordan, I have a copy of Blackest Night somewhere around here. Like the whole thing in one hardcover.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And that one was interesting because they were like, okay, we need to make some temporary lanterns, and it was like the Flash was a blue lantern. It was kind of interesting. Wonder Woman was a
all of these.
Yeah. I don't know for sure if I was ever got picked for being a lantern. I'm not sure. I probably would get red, to be honest, because let's put it this way. There's a reason why I don't really do live duels, like, on NO or anything like that, because if I did, people would hear some hateful shit, because I'll be like, somebody will play Mystic Mine, and I'll be sitting there all like, I'm gonna kill you and your deck and everything adjacent to your deck, and I'm just gonna stick. Yeah.
Remind me never to play you with my new deck. The main attacker is Mystic Mine.
I'm sending hateful vibes your way. I hope it's warmer in your room right now.
Funny enough, the heater did just kick in.
Ah! Victory! Feel the burn. Feel my rage. Dirty Mystic Mind players. Almost as bad as True Drago players. That's a horrible joke.
All you gotta do is blind second, play mine into a field of 2 monsters, and then just sit on a Sky Striker Hayate and poke 15 every turn till you win.
That's why I like things like Lair of Darkness and Lost World. Would you like a token? Here, have a token.
I hate that.
That's the shit.
I hate that the like 2 cards that I lose to at Geek Out are Lair of Darkness and Draining Shield.
I don't get it either. But Draining Shield. Why does that card sound familiar? Is that, wait a minute, that's the one where it's got like the Gaga Gigo monster attacking Gearfried, and he's like, "Here's my shield," or whatever.
Yep, it's the one where you gain life points instead of taking the life points.
Oh my goodness, that's funny. Actually, it's funny. Speaking of Lair of Darkness, I'm actually, that's probably the next video I have to work on, is a updated Layer of Dark Magicians video.
Ooh.
Yeah. Apparently somebody found the one that's from a few weeks ago, and they were like, "Can I get an updated, more competitive version?" I'm like, "Okay, sure." So I'm trying to update the one I have currently, and I don't know, it's got it's weird synergy. The only reason why it even works is because I use Lilith to search navigation, so I can get free Dark Magicians out there. But it also happens to work because then I get to go, okay, I have Eradicator Epidemic Virus in the deck, so then I just flip that, call spells, and watch my opponent scream, unless they're playing something like Danger Dark World, and then they laugh at me.
I have never had. I'm so glad that the people at Geek Out aren't on Eradicator Epidemic Virus, or I would never be able to play, because I play Striker and Hero, and both of those rely on my spell cards.
I have a replay where I recently just beat the shit out of a dinosaur player, and Eradicator was the reason I won. Yeah, so it's funny because he only drew 1 spell that entire duel, right? And I did call spells, but the reason I won is because I kept tributing the Ultimate Conductor Tyranno. Lair of Darkness turned it into a dark monster, and then I went, okay, I tribute your dinosaur. Miscellaneous, by the way, can't protect from that.
Very true. You know what else can't protect from doing that?
Mm-hmm.
Royal Decree.
Royal Decree. Oh,
my favorite duel ever will always be I just watched a Mega Capital G video where he did a deck profile about it was right when the Diabolos cards came out.
Yeah.
And somebody put the Diabolos cards and the Dark World cards together. Mm-hmm. And for some reason it worked online, but in person it was horrible, like it never worked. Mm-hmm. But I played against a 6 Sam player who game 2 cited in Royal Decrees, flipped him up, and couldn't figure out why I was still able to tribute his stuff off with my trap cards, despite Royal Decree being up. Yeah. And I kept saying to him, I can still pay cost. He goes, but the effects of the traps are negated.
Yeah, like, basically,
I can't you any better.
Basically, the point of it is for the people at home. Layer of Darkness just basically turns all of these trap cards that normally would tribute and become a 2-for-1 or a 2 for a handful kind of thing, and then make it to where now they are also spot removal. So
Yep.
basically, you're using your Layer of Darkness is letting you tribute their monster. So even if the trap card's effects are negated, like like for example, let's say they had we'll use a different one. We'll use like 7 Tools of the Bandit, old school card. You flip your Eradicator. You still get to tribute their monster because you still have to pay the cost. And then if your opponent 7 Tools of the Bandit negates it, well, they just paid 1,000 life points to do nothing essentially because they still lost the monster.
Very, very true.
So that's why, and that's the synergy with Layer of Darkness and Dark Magician. Is just it allows me to tribute their monster while getting navigation. And using the other trap cards to kind of slow the game down enough so the Dark Magicians can actually do something. And I've had some success online. I've beaten a few decks I probably shouldn't have.
Do you play the souls in there?
Souls. No, I don't have the souls. I play. That's another thing with mine is a lot of the decks I play online are based off my personal card pool. So if I don't have it,
Okay. I got you.
Yeah. That really is just habit. Because in the early days when I started playing on YGO Pro and Edo Pro and all the other simulators, it used to be just to be prepared for locals. So I would. You would
only play Light Swarms on there. Got it.
No. I played other decks too, but I would limit myself to my actual the card pool that I own, not the card pool that was available. So
right.
Because there's no sense in trying to to prepare with cards I don't own.
Yeah.
Outside of learning how their deck works, and that habit just kind of transferred over, which the good news is, as a content creator, it's allowed me to make videos that a lot of the budget players really like. I think that's one of the reasons why they follow me. Since we're on that topic, though, do you have content that is going to be good for budget players on your channel?
So I don't actually go out and build a lot of decks. I don't build a lot of decks. I will usually have 2 decks that I play, and so I don't really build the decks to be able to do a physical deck profile.
Mm-hmm.
If I could figure out how to do screen recording on a Chromebook. I know there's an app that I can get, but the one that I got didn't really work all that well. I want to start to be able to do via Dueling Book or Dueling Nexus, things like that.
Yeah.
To show off budget decks, because that's where I started too, was on budget lists. And you go back on my channel and you see my second deck profile I ever built was my second deck profile I ever filmed was do you remember the Perform Mage Pendulum deck?
Yes.
So it was that, but there was cards that were super expensive that I couldn't afford, that I was okay, I'm gonna play these alternatives instead. And the deck still worked pretty well. You remember when Luster Pendulum was a $60 card?
Yes.
I subbed it out for Magister Crow, and that didn't have a scale effect, but it was still a scale 5, so I was still able to do Pendulum Place with that.
Okay.
Which was nice. And my very first deck profile I ever did was Speedroids, which was a super budget deck when it first came out. And then Burning Abyss players were like, wait, Terror Top is good. And that's when it stopped being a budget deck.
Goddamn Burning Abyss players. Just kidding.
And I mean, if you look at the deck profile, and if you look at the actual, if you look at the thumbnail, you'll see one card in the deck that wasn't quote unquote budget at the time, I played one copy of Dante in the deck, and that was just to that was literally just to say, hey, look, I have a copy of Dante that I pulled.
That's how I got it. That's how I still have that Dante too. It's really sad is that Dante at one point was almost $100,
Yes, it was.
and now it's
And then
like
it got
20, now it's like $20.
Yeah. reprinted twice, which tanked its value, and then got reprinted again.
Yeah, it's like a $20 card at most. It's like
Yeah.
so it's like
Or you can grab the common for like $2.
yeah. But I remember, like, that I was like, man, if I realized that was going to tank like that, if I thought about it, I probably would have sold it. But I was playing Lightsworn at the time, and I needed, and Minerva didn't exist yet, so I was taking advantage of Dante. But everybody at the locals knows I was the guy who's like Lightsworn.
Yes, I remember the Lightsworn deck, and I hated playing against that. Because
it's not even really that good of a deck, really. It's just I was just so familiar with it. It was the only reason I had any success, to be brutally honest.
That was when I was still on Speedroids, and I could not play against it with Speedroids. I don't remember why exactly.
I played a lot of like trolly shit in mine. Like I did Fairy Tale Snow, I did the Dragon Rulers.
Oh yeah, that's why it was the Fairy Tale Snow that I couldn't get around because you would always flip my tuner down, and so I couldn't sync with it.
Fairy Tale Snow is a Lightsworn card, and no one can convince me otherwise.
I mean, it's a Burning Abyss card.
I guess it was also a Thunder Dragon card technically, but
and a dinosaur card.
And Fairy Tale Snow was with dinosaurs. What?
Yeah, you played it in the 60 card Dino Plant Zombie Lightsworn deck because
talk about a chimera deck. Jesus.
Do you remember Monster Reborn?
Yeah.
The crappy Monster Reborn sub. So what you would do would be you would activate it. You would target Cyrenue Spiritualist, Giant Rex, and Snow, and then if they picked, like, let's say they picked Snow, so you would summon Snow. And then Giant Rex would trigger, summon himself, and then Cyrenue Spiritualist would trigger, pop something.
Yeah.
Or if they pick something else, like I don't remember if you were able to chain Snow to summon her out. Off of that, I don't think you could. But you would still get like a bunch of like really awesome effects doing that, and those would be the 3 monsters that you would pick. So it was kind of dumb.
Well, that's all the content that I've really got. Let's see here. We discussed a little bit of politics. Let's see here. Got your content covered. Yu-Gi-Oh's been covered to oblivion.
Yes.
We also kind of covered the toxic Yu-Gi-Oh group, Zodiac.
Yeah.
Which I'm still in there, but like I said off camera, I guess some part of my brain's a bit of a masochist. So we'll just keep that joke off the internet. Because before somebody decides to meme that. Oh, man. I'm just making sure we covered all our bases. But I'm pretty sure that's everything. Everyone, go subscribe to Thinkin N Geekin. Give my buddy here some support. Let's at least try to get him to like his first 100. Yes,
please. I'm not even halfway there. I still need 53 subscribers to make it to 100.
Let's get him to his first 100. He deserves it. Especially, I know you guys like alternative ways to play the game. Well, Benji here's got a handful already on his channel. And I guess we probably should state this, considering that as of seeing this video, it'll be voting day. Guys, go vote. All right, if you're over the 18 and you're eligible to vote, go. All right.
Yes. And please remember, if you go and vote, and it's near the end of the day, as long as you are in line by 7 p.m. Central Time, or whenever your polling location closes, as long as you are in line, they have to let you vote. They cannot turn you away. That is illegal.
Okay. You heard it here, guys. So get in line, go vote, and don't let anyone tell you can't. If you're in line.
Oh, and if they try to say that your registration is messed up that you need a provisional ballot, say, I would like, there's a certain way that you have to say it. Like, you don't have to say it in a certain way, but there's a certain way that I like to tell people to say it. I request a provisional ballot with a receipt as according with the law. And what that does is it will give you, they will give you a ballot to fill out. They will give you a provisional ballot to fill out. They will give you a receipt, and then you can use that to track whether or not that ballot is counted. Unfortunately, with provisional ballots, 3 out of 10 of them do get thrown out. But if you look at the bigger picture, that's still, put that into the millions. Out of 10 million, that's still 7 million ballots that get counted. So if you have to do a provisional ballot, please do a provisional ballot. Do not let anybody take away your right to vote. Do not let anybody stop you voting.
All right, I think that's a good to note to end on, guys. Anyway, I'm Benji 1000 YGL. I'm your friendly neighborhood Yu-Gi-Oh superhero, and we'll catch you in the next one. Peace.